these parshas that we're in, last week's parsha and this week's parsha, it feels very repetitive. It really is very repetitive. In Parshas Truma and Tetzaveh, Hashem Yisbarach taught Moshe Rabbeinu, commanded Moshe Rabbeinu all the details of the Mishkan. The vessels, the clothing, everything. And then, last week's parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu tells over the Jewish people, and the Jewish people, they follow through with it. They build everything that Moshe Rabbeinu was commanded. So all Hashem could have done, all that the Torah needed to do, is to say, and the Jewish people did everything Moshe Rabbeinu told them to do. Finished. Instead of that, it repeats everything over again. And the truth is, if you go through these parshas, again, V'yakov Pekudei, there's like no Rashi at all. Because what Rashi does is basically just look in Parshas Truma Tetzaveh. You'll have all the explanations. I don't have to say anything. So read these parshas, and you feel like, what am I doing? Like I'm just, so for example, usually when you learn Chumash, there's a feeling of like accomplishment. It's sort of, you know why you're learning it, because you're learning more things. You're learning new ideas. We're not learning anything new with these parshas. We're just repeating over and over and over again. And so why did the Torah do that? So there's a lot of answers. One very simple answer is that's exactly the point. In order for us to build a Mishkan in our own lives, in order for us to make ourselves vessels for Hashem Yisbarach, in order to bring God into our lives, the Rebbeinu Shalom needs to make sure that we have a particular quality, a particular character trait, and that is the most essential quality to have in order for Hashem to come to you. And that is faithfulness, ne'emanus, to be trusted. The Rebbeinu Shalom needs to know that when we do mitzvahs and when we learn, we're willing to do it and we're willing to learn, even if it has no tam, it has no flavor, it doesn't make sense to us, we just do it anyway. When Hashem Yisbarach can see that a person is faithful, that itself is how you build your Mishkan. So notice when you're reading these parshas and the Jewish people are reading these parshas, we're reading about how the Jewish people built the Mishkan. And it's not just reading about once upon a time something that happened. Every time we're reading it about how the Mishkan is built, it means spiritually we're establishing within ourselves, we're making ourselves able to have a Mishkan, to have Hashem Yisbarach dwell within us. And in order for that to happen, Hashem Yisbarach specifically made it that when we read these parshas, we're reading it. Why? I have no idea, just because it's there, and Hashem Yisbarach wants us to do it. Without any explanation at all. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. That's why with Moshe Rabbeinu, for example, one last quick point. Moshe Rabbeinu was, the wisest, the most amazing, the most... he's Moshe Rabbeinu. There's no one greater than Moshe Rabbeinu. Of all the qualities that Hashem Yisbarach can say about Moshe, when Miriam and Aaron when there was what seemed to be some sort of crack in the armor of their faith in Moshe Rabbeinu, and Hashem Yisbarach has to tell them, no, you have no idea, Moshe Rabbeinu was coming from a different place. What's the one thing that Hashem Yisbarach said about Moshe? V'kol beisi, of all the entire planet, all the human beings, all the Jewish people, Ne'emanhu, I trust him. He's trusted. V'hi yadav emuna. When we fought against Amalek, it says in Pasuk that Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the energy to fight against Amalek. He had his hands up raised. V'hi yadav emuna, his hands were faithful. Simply, it means that he kept his hands up, that we were, we could be confident that Moshe's hands are going to stay up. On a deeper level, what that means is that when we want to fight any Amalek, the Amalek within, which again, Amalek, the Yetzer Hara tries to stop Hashem from coming into our lives, what Amalek wants to uproot from us is faithfulness. What Amalek wants to convince of a Jew is that, of course you'll keep Torah and mitzvahs, of course you'll learn, if it makes sense, if it is appealing, if it's emotionally exciting. But reading these parashas, V'yakov Pekudei, where it's just repeating over and over the same things, and we have no idea why we're doing it, and there's no explanation for it, and Rashi even doesn't say anything, and it's just like we're just sitting here and doing it because it's part of Chumash. That's exactly how you have a Mishkan. That's exactly how you have a Mishkan. When you do mitzvahs, without tam, without reach, without anything, that's exactly how it is. Just like the human body. If you think about it, Hashem gave us unbelievable emotions, right? Emotions that could attach you to loving Hashem, to loving Jews, to loving Torah, having awe of Hashem's presence. A lot of potential in terms of closeness to God are in emotions. The intellect, also amazing. You could learn so many things. You could learn about God, learn about Torah, unbelievable. But all of that, Hashem Yisbarach made it that the human being, our emotions and our intellect, resides in a physical body. And what's the quality of the physical body? Faithfulness. The heart keeps on pumping. You keep on breathing without thinking about it. So spiritually as well, if you want to have deep emotions and a deep intellect to connect to God in deep ways, it needs a faithful vessel. It needs a faithful vessel. It needs a body that's consistent, that's trusted, and keeps on pumping no matter what. Such a Yiddishkeit can be a body for an unbelievable emotional Yiddishkeit and an intellectual Yiddishkeit. But the vessel that it needs is that quality of faithfulness, of being trusted. Hashem Yisbarach has to look at us and say, whatever's going on in their lives, I trust him. I trust him. And I trust that he's going to do, or at least try to do the right thing. If Hashem can say that about us, that we're trusted, then Hashem says, I'll give you a heart, I'll give you a brain, I'll give you myself, and everything will be fine. As long as we can prove to ourselves and to Hashem that we can be trusted. Okay, so Hashem should be zeicha to build a mishkan within ourselves, and it starts with that nemanis, v'yad v'emun. Okay,
Thank you, Hashem. Thank